Thank you, Anne. I'd like to first start just by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land, the Darug people, and acknowledge the elders, both past and present. I've come tonight to talk to you about this fantastic project that I'm incredibly passionate about, the Welcome Dinner Project. But before I start, I'd just like to acknowledge the three speakers who have spoken before me tonight, because it takes so much courage to come and tell your story, your personal story, and I'm very honoured to be part of this group of speakers tonight. So the Welcome Dinner Project started about 2 years ago. It's an initiative of a not-for-profit called Joining the Dots. And Joining the Dots is a social change grassroots movement. So the idea behind it is to focus on creating meaningful change in Australia, transforming society, and connecting people. So our aim is to go where the dots are not yet joined. The Welcome Dinner Project was started by Penny Elsley. It is now a national project, and it is run primarily by volunteers. We get a small amount of funding here and there, but it's run by teams of volunteers in all the capital cities now around Australia, including Tasmania, and we've just opened in Canberra as well, which is incredibly exciting. I work as a coordinator for Auburn and Parramatta, and I'm also going to work in Fairfield and Liverpool soon as well. So we have coordinators around Sydney looking after different areas. So what is the Welcome Dinner Project? Has anyone heard of it before? Yes. A few people have. Fabulous. For those who haven't heard of it, the idea is to bring together people who are new to Australia to meet established Australians using food as the platform, because as we know, food transcends all cultural boundaries. And the way the dinners work is we have someone offer to host in their home, and we have trained volunteers who then organise the dinners, invite people along. It's potluck, so everyone brings a plate of food to share from their culture or a dish that they've always loved. And we organise it so that there are about 15 or 20 people, half newly arrived to Australia and half established Australians. And the aim is to bring people together in that space so that we can meet and transform our view of each other, not be so afraid of each other. And so this concept of creating a dinner project was where the idea came from, to actually bring people together and create a safe and welcoming space so that people felt like they could come along and be part of the community, a bigger community. So that was the real impetus behind the project. So our aim is to create meaningful connection. So it's not just a place for small talk. In fact, we actively say to people, we're not here to ask what we do for work. We're not here to ask how we came to Australia, but what we're here to ask is, what are you passionate about in this life? And what is it that you love about being in Australia? And what activities do you love to get involved in? And by doing that, we can actually try and find things that we have in common, find our common humanity, and push past the differences, that we're always hearing about in the media, and the fear that's generated by our politicians at the moment. So for me, being involved in this project has been life-changing. It's a phenomenal feeling to be in a room with people from so many different cultures and countries, and to meet on a level where you're discussing the things you're most passionate about and the things you love in life, and trying to find someone else in that room who is also passionate about a similar thing that you can engage with and organise to meet up with at other times. So that's the whole concept behind it, and we run it. Our volunteers are trained to run these activities. So if you're a host, what that means is you say, I'm happy to open my home, and you bring a plate of food, and that's it. That's all you need to do, because our volunteers organise everything. We organise the guests, and every person's bringing a plate of food. It's potluck. So there's no need for you to cook for 15 or 20 people, although I have to say, in some cultures, and we had a dinner recently with an Iranian family, and when I said that they didn't need to cook for everyone who was coming, they just started laughing, because they said, in their country, they would cook for 50 people and it would mean nothing, that's just how it works. And I was saying, no, you don't need to do that. Of course, they did prepare 3 or 4 dishes, which was amazing. But that's, you don't need to do that. It's simply opening your home and welcoming people to come inside and have a chat with you and get to know you and find out about your life. So if you want to get involved, the way to do it is to find us either on Facebook or on our website. There's a lot of these postcards out on the table outside, and on the back you'll find all the details there for our website. So you can register with us to either participate in a dinner or to host a dinner. It'd be fabulous if anyone here would like to host a dinner. We're always looking for hosts. And then when you register with us, and it takes just a few minutes to register, then we'll contact you and invite you along when there's a dinner or an event in your local area. So we try and keep it local so that when you're meeting people, there's a better chance for you to meet up again and do other things in your local community. So mostly we do them in homes, but we also have bigger community events, and I'm in the process now of organising a big community event in Parramatta, which I'm hoping to have up and running at the start of November. It's early days, and I'm in contact with a few different agencies to help us get that up and running. And hopefully, if the council will allow it, we'll do it in the Parramatta Town Hall. And that's a great night too, because we have a facilitator on every table. We have maybe 70 to 100 people come along. It's a great way to meet people who live in your local area. I just wanted to touch on something that James said in his speech tonight, which was, what can I do to make the world a better place? I think this is something you can do. This is something we can all do to help someone who is new to this country to feel welcome here. And the power of that is incredible, because when you're in a country like Australia and you've left all of your social networks behind, if you're seeking asylum and you've had to leave, you're a refugee, you've had to leave a lot of things behind, a lot of people behind, a lot of supports. And how do you find those again? I mean, it's quite hard and it takes a lot of time. And what this enables people to do is to connect in a really deep and meaningful way, and hopefully change our perceptions about each other and stop being so fearful. So thank you so much for listening to me tonight.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you to all our speakers. You were amazing.